If you over-rotate a double front flip, you're breaking your neck at best. If you under-rotate it, you're probably gonna end up paralyzed. I can't even fathom what it would be like coming up to a ramp, thinking about landing it perfect.
It looks like we're not waiting on this. Double front flip. Gregg Duffy, we didn't even get on.
Jim Champ is one of my best friends, childhood friends growing up, and he was one of the first people doing a front flip on a mountain bike, but he was using his front brake going off the lip. So one day we potentially were at a bar, and Jim goes, if the front brake was on the opposite side on a dirt bike, I would do a front flip first try. So by the time he sobered up the next morning, we had dialed him in a front flip on the other, front brake on the other side to match his mountain bike front brake.
Jim DeChamp, day one. Good luck, buddy.
More speed, more speed. You forgot to give it gas.
And we got a couch that blocked the little room between the takeoff ramp and the foam pit, which he actually ended up front braking himself right into the sitting position. He had it pretty dialed before X Games. Unfortunately, when he tried at X Games, didn't quite get the pop.
Oh man, that sucks.
Bailed off, broke his back. Front flip started off with a bang. Rosen, after Jim DeChamp, was the first person that really took front flip seriously. And he was pretty dialed, but X Games is always tough, man. You gotta be on the spot. You come in on a BMX roll-in, and you're not really warmed up. And he had two of the biggest crashes in X Games history. And he thought, you know what? I'm gonna build a ramp that's gonna help me do a front flip. Invented what we call the Rosen ramp, or the cheater front flip ramp as it became known. To try to do a double front or tricks on a front flip. Paris Rosen was the first person to do a double front flip into a foam pit. He was the first person to prove it could happen. And he hit so hard, he said, I will never get on a bike again. And he left his motorcycle there, and he left the ramp. He's like, take it, I never want to see it again. So we started using it more and more to do different things. And it was funny that everyone that came over, they were like, oh, the cheater ramp, that's so dumb. And then they hit it, and they were like, wow, this opens up a whole new avenue of what we can do. And I know we had Tom Paget over, and he was like, that's so stupid, so dumb, so dumb. And he hits it, and within the year, he built his own ramp, and is doing front flip flares, like front flip 180s and bike flip front flips. And he's like, it blew his mind, because like myself, it gave us another way to have fun and to do stuff that we could never think of before. I thought Paris's idea was brilliant. It was also probably the most dangerous ramp that's ever been built. Bruce Cook, one of the most awesome human beings on the face of the earth, great rider. And he actually went to the X Games before, doing rock solid backflips. We were all on tour in Europe, and he was home practicing in the foam pit. He started working with front flip ramp, and we had this big tour going to Canada where Bruce is from. And Bruce is like, I can do a double. And we thought, man, this would be, we don't have anything super new for the North American tour. Like, this would be huge. And Bruce was 9 out of 10, but every time on that first jump, he'd be a little short in the foam pit, which is where you want to be in the foam pit, because you land kind of on your back, it rotates around, and like, oh, that probably would have ridden out. And landed a little bit short. One of his feet slipped off the foot pegs. That foot got caught under his back, and how he landed, even though he was on a mat, it broke his back. And he's, you know, it's been an amazing story, his comeback story. Never Say Can't. Amazing documentary if you haven't seen it yet. Just a truly inspiring, positive human being that's probably affected more people in a positive way after the accident than he might have had the opportunity to change lives before. But that's just because he's a positive human being. It's still such a huge risk. So from that accident, we learned that a sticky pad, which is what we had kind of been using just as a soft foam pad, wasn't nearly sufficient for the double front flip. If you over-rotate it, you're breaking your neck at best. If you under-rotate it, you're probably gonna end up paralyzed. So we worked on an airbag landing, still had a foam topper that I don't really know if it was gonna solve the problem. It probably wasn't quite to the level that it needed to be. And along comes Gregg Duffy.
That's what's up.
My name is Gregg Duffy. I am from Graysonville, Maryland. I grew up racing from the age of 7 until about 25. I hung the boots up, went and started working for my dad, and that's when I got the call from my good friend Travis. Let me know that he was looking for somebody to possibly, you know, attempt some front flips on the next Nitro Circus tour.
A front flip is so much more difficult than a back flip. A back flip is like a half a flip. A front flip is like a flip and a half. A double front flip is like 2.5 flips. I mean, because the takeoff, everything is throwing you already into a back flip direction. And if you over rotate a front flip, you're going with speed with a 250-pound machine on your head. And if you under rotate it, it still sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea about anything because my biggest trick at the time was a heel clicker.
Yeah.
A heel clicker to a front flip, possible double front flip. Yeah, my mind was blank. I had no idea.
Duff comes to the house after work one day, sees the front flip ramp sitting there.
Little more speed, and when it kicks, go with it.
Over rotates a single. I was like, hey man, shift up to third and see if you can do a double.
Gregg Duffy, attempt 2. You gotta be kidding me.
Woo! Killed it.
He hits it third gear, pin, feet blow off, grips it full moto, just style comes in, gets a perfect double front around. I said, hey, you ain't going back to work. You're practicing this trick. You're getting it dialed in. You're coming on tour to Australia with us on Nitro next month.
Yeah! Do better this time! Holy crap! Take a racer, turn him into a freestyler in 2 days.
So the whole reason this thing kind of worked out was I was trying to get this ramp that was 28 feet tall onto Nitro Circus, and no one would hit it. Oh, I mean, we had everybody out. Jackson Strong was like, he's the craziest human being I've ever met. Let's get him out. And he jumps and he's off the thing, and he throws the bike, and the bike breaks in half, like literally, like forks, everything's off, subframe's gone, and he lands up top, and he's like, yeah, I'm not hitting that again.
Got everything set. Just need some riders to come out here. Jacko hit it, missed it. That didn't help anyone's confidence because he's pretty crazy. He only hit it 3 times. He's here for 3 days. He's like, that's nuts. I think this setup's almost going to favor the motocross rider, the guy that has no problem coming at it. 4th gear, pinned.
And old Moto Duff comes out on his day off, after work. He's like, oh, cool, set up the airbag. And he's like, this is so much fun. We got another stupid ramp over here.
Man, that thing was a blast. Yeah, and obviously I was there at the same time as Jacko, and I mean, like, I knew who Jacko was, but kind of didn't really click at the time. I didn't know that he was really like a total badass, and you know, the best in the biz. And for me to come out there after work and I don't know, just kind of show him up a little bit, that felt good. Felt good. Felt all right.
I little did he know that that was a jump that everyone on Nitro had turned down. A month from quitting his job, working on the double front flip and the regular front flip. Moto Duff's like, I want to do one front flip to dirt before we go over there. I'm like, shoot, I've never done a front flip to dirt. Let's do it.
Trying to flip, trying to go to dirt. I haven't gone to dirt yet. He wants us to do front flip knack-knacks. Now, front flip's a little tricky on its own, but you know, Travis Pastrana has to throw a knack-knack in there because he's Travis Pastrana, so that's what we're doing.
It is so muddy. The bikes are so heavy. Sun right in your eyes. It pressed right there in the winter. It was cold. It sucked.
Cool.
I feel like that couldn't have went any better.
Well, I could have gone a lot worse, that's for damn sure.
You guys just did.
Dude, side by side, fronty knacks. There's only 2 people in the world ever done a fronty knack, just saying. Sitting right here. Dude, this is awesome. It's been a good week, man.
Yeah. So the training that I went through to try to be the first person to land a double front flip, it was 2 months before the Nitro Circus Tour started, and I was over at Pastrana Land every single day. I live about 30 minutes from Pastrana Land, so I was there every single day, hitting that ramp, going to the airbag until I couldn't anymore.
That was gnarly. I think I hit it too fast.
Everyone thinks the automatic front flip device, the cheater ramp, just automatically puts you in the front flip, but you can likely do a back flip off of the front flip kicker if you lean back. You can do a double front flip, you can do a single front flip. It is a curve at the top of a ramp. It's basically as you go over with your front tire, it pushes a curve up. And your back tire hits it so hard that it breaks the rim. It is a gnarly curve at the top of a ramp. If you want to do a double front flip, you have to hit it third gear pin. Anyone that's ever hit a curve, third gear pin, knows that it's not a good idea. Sitting up, even in practice, when all the heroes in sport, all the legends from BMX and skate and moto and everything are just like jaws dropped just watching Moto Duffy.
That was better? Yeah! Oh!
Retired from racing, said I'm gonna get a real job, and then hard left turn back to freestyle, where you're doing something no one else in the world had the guts to do. Said on Nitro, you either have to be the best in the world at something or really do something that no one else is willing to do, and Moto Duff was both.
Duffy goes yesterday, the ramp moves, he crashes, almost breaks his butt, his tailbone, everything's swollen, he's ice bathing. We're like, dude, you gotta do it again. He's like, no, I got it. Sure enough, lands the first one. Short. Yeah! He told us he had it. Never doubt that guy. Freaking moto racer turned freestyler.
That was about 9 stops, and I landed and rode out of the bag out of 7 of those 9 stops. So I'm pretty proud of that.
There it is. What was it like being in Utah for the very first Nitro World Games and counting down to go time?
It was actually not as stressful as you guys would think. I had my whole...
Speak for yourself.
I know you were under some stress. But yeah, I had my whole family there, my daughter, my mom, my dad, and just my whole support group that have been there since day one. Obviously, I knew the task that was at hand, and practice didn't go as well as I had hoped.
I think you hit a jersey barrier off the side?
I hit a jersey barrier, I mangled my bike up pretty good. It was kind of stressful just getting the bike back together at that point. Definitely stressful for others.
Yeah, well, at the time, that ramp was the biggest ramp that had ever been used in competition. I think it's still the biggest ramp that's ever been used in competition. And the landing, we were testing new things. It was the best that we had, but I'm like, if you over-rotate, you're gonna break your neck. It's not something that I wanna say out loud.
It's the first time that any of them are going to be trying these tricks to an actual landing.
Tony, thoughts?
I'm frightened, excited, and anxious. I saw some double front flips in practice from the ramp with the ejector seat. I don't know how to explain it.
To the bag jump. But now these guys, everything that they thought they had on lock, the nerves are going to come because it is real.
All right, well, the safety net is out.
I was so concerned. I'm like, because when Bruce Cook went and ended up being paralyzed, I had this little bit of hesitation. I'm like, you don't have to do it at this show. But he's like, oh, I got my family here, I got everything. I'm like, all right, well then, yeah, you're going to do it. You got it. So I didn't really say anything to Duff. And right before Duff's about to go, like I jumped out of the booth where I'm supposed to be, and I go down the field, and I get a big hug from Big Duff. And he's like, thank you for this opportunity. And I'm just everything I could do I'm like, don't thank me yet. Like, this is the highest risk trick that's ever been done. And I don't think everyone understands like what's on the line here. And like, literally, you're doing this because you want to be a provider for your daughter, for your family. And I'm just shy of breaking down.
This is absolutely amazing. And here we go, double front flip.
Looks like we're not waiting on this. Double front flip. Gregg Duffy, we didn't even get on. He just ran out of it. Double front flip. Holy shit!
That moment when I, looked up from my front fender and realized that I was riding away from a double front flip, it all just clicked right there. The consequences, because I was super close to going over. At that point, I had 3 broken ribs, cracked my visor right down the middle from hitting so hard. Couldn't breathe. I had the wind knocked out of me. Yeah, sure enough, right after that was when I got a big old bear hug from Grizzly Adams over here.
Full bawling my eyes out when he's riding away. He breaks 3 ribs, wind knocked out of him, but I see him raise his arms, and I'm like, he's alive, and I just tackled him. And he's like, he got nothing but that. I didn't even care. Dude, at this point, you rode out of a double front flip, you're alive. Yeah, I'm sure you're broken. Yeah, I'm sure you don't have wind, but I'm hugging you anyway.
You took a step back because you heard me go, "Ugh," and you said, "You all right?"
I love you, man. You all right?
I said, "Can't breathe." And that was the last of it. And then the arms went right back up. You knew I couldn't breathe, but I was still, I was just happy to be there, happy to roll away from it, and happy to see you proud. A proud moment. That was amazing.
I've never been that stressed in my life. I mean, the fact that I cried on national television, I've never thought I'd do that ever, and I broke down, man.
I can't even talk right now. He has put his heart, he has put his soul, his family, his little girl are here watching, man. I tell you what, this guy deserves every bit. That was, if he over-rotated, he's going to die. Literally, the most insane thing I've ever thought. Smile for BC. Bruce Cook, I know you're watching at home, man.
That was it. So, hey, thank you for not dying. I mean, simply put.